welcome to the MVP Show. My intention is that you listen to the stories of these MVP guests and are inspired to become an MVP and bring value to the world through your skills. If you have not checked it out already, I do a YouTube series called How to Become an MVP. The link is in the show notes. With that, let's get on with the show. Well, welcome back to the MVP Show. Today we're heading to London to talk to Neil. Neil, welcome to the show.
Hey, Mark. Good to be on here. I'm excited to talk to you and talk about the whole MVP community.
Yeah, sounds good. So, first of all, you're living in London. I left London in 2019, the end of 2019, just before the pandemic. I moved back to New Zealand. Love the city. Been back once since returning home. But tell us about food, family, and fun. What do you get up to when you're not working?
Well, you know, are we called POMs over there? I don't know. I mean, us Brits love talking about the weather, so we could, I guess, start there. I'm guessing it's nicer where it is for you over there. And it's your summertime. We're going into autumn and winter, so it's cold, it's wet, it's grey. It's just how we kind of roll. And what can I say about me? I'm a bit of a nerdy geek. Been in the world of UC, AV, video conferencing, IPTV, multicast streaming for way too many years that I can remember. And literally earlier this year, we awarded my MVP, so I'm really excited about that. And then for hobbies, I guess I make a nuisance of myself on social media. I love a bit of home automation with a Home Assistant, and big into boats. So if I'm not messing around with Teams and Microsoft stuff, then I'm generally messing around with Volvo Penta engines and solar panels and lithium polymer batteries and boats and engines and stuff. So,
are we talking about electric boats?
No, it's a motorboat, but it's got quite a clever automation system and lithium batteries and solar and inverters and chargers and stuff like that. So it's a bit geeky.
I just had solar installed yesterday on my property.
Nice. What did you get? Are you Victron? What's your
Sig Energy?
Okay, I don't know that one. There's some great. There's a great guy. He's actually in Australia called the Off Grid Garage, and that guy. He's a German guy, but he lives in Australia, and he's like completely decked out his like garage with lithium batteries, and he's got like 3 or 4 different solars on his garage roof and stuff, and he's really cool down. But you get better sun down there, I think, than us.
We get a lot of sun. That's what hit me when living in London. I couldn't believe that it was dark at 3 p.m. in winter. Blew my mind. Just
our clocks went back like a week ago, and it was just like depressing that it's 4 o'clock and it's dark now, pitch dark. So yeah.
Crazy. Tell me about Copilot. What are you doing in that space?
So it's interesting. I think when we first kind of connected up, I was kind of working as a bit of a freelance. So I was doing some freelancing between roles. I've recently joined a small company. I don't know if you've heard of them. They're called Logitech. There you go. It's just the thing. All my friends are like, I said, I'm going to go, oh yeah, we used your mice. It's like, yeah. So we're, I'm getting much more into the kind of personal workspace side of things since joining. I'm head of portfolio, not just for my world of UC and VC, but also in keyboards and mice. So I'm really interested as to, how we can actually work with Microsoft and Copilot and try and ease that kind of user experience and that user journey of how they kind of engage into Copilot, how they're interacting it, because now we're creating the input devices, whether that be the keyboards and the mice, but also, the microphones and headsets and things like that. So it is interesting. And I think, I think I'm quite old. I feel this kind of AI thing. I tend to, I'm a bit of a Luddite, so I use it as a bit of a do engine. So it's continuously Copilot, do this for me, Copilot, do that for me. If I mention the A word, she'll pick up in the other room. But I've been using the A thing for quite some time. And again, it's a do engine. You just say, turn the lights on, turn the lights off, add this to my shopping list, play me this music, and all that kind of stuff. And I think my initial use of Copilot was very much the same, write this email better for me, or, can you design me a logo, or can you write me a banner, or can you tidy this up, or so it was continuously a do engine. And I guess I'm trying to cross the chasm to where we move from that just getting it to do stuff to enhance me. I haven't got into the whole agentic piece, so that's really something that I want to kind of lean into and try and pick that up. So that's, I guess, where I am on my journey with it. And it's funny. So I only picked it up quite recently because, as I say, I've always been concentrated on the Microsoft Teams side of things with the Polycom previously and Plantronics, and then at Crestron. So to me, Copilot is more in the meeting room. And again, it's the exciting piece around transcription, transcribing, the translation stuff is just blows my mind. But the whole speaker attribution piece and being able to now actually say, Neil said this in the meeting, and, Mark said this in the meeting, rather than, meeting room X. So the fact that you can kind of opt in and train it and teach it your, linguistic style and your tone, and it can then identify you, I think, again, is really powerful. But I need to now learn again how to go from the meeting room to the desktop and to use that into my everyday work, and to try and get it to be more than just can you sort out my terrible grammar and bad British spelling, So.
Why isn't one space that I'm surprised Logitech haven't leaned into is...
If we're going to talk roadmap, I'm going to get in trouble, okay?
is what I'm surprised they haven't leaned into, and there's been kind of it's been an opportunity that's been on the table since 2020. So it's a 5-year opportunity that's been missed, I feel, by Logitech, and that was teleprompters for Teams.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, there is one other vendor that does them, or has one I know of.
Well, I'm in front of one, right? That's whyVe got perfect.
I thought you were free-forming. I thought this was a riffing chat. You're reading off a script.
So no, what I'm saying is that I have your Teams, the Teams, let's say we're in Microsoft Teams. I always have my people right in front of me because it means I can maintain eye contact. I got no script on screen. But so I'm not using the teleprompter function, but Elgato.
That's what he's telling you, everybody.
Elgato brought out the Stream Deck. There's this teleprompter. I don't know, maybe 2 years ago. I actually got it at MVP Summit 2 years ago because it wasn't available anywhere else in the world outside the US. And I had another MVP. I had it delivered to his house so he could bring it along to Summit for me. And it has been absolutely amazing. So many people go, why, how do you're never looking off. You're always focused. And I do a lot of presentations, sometimes up to 400 people at a time on a call for 4 hours in the work I've done with Microsoft and training their staff and things like that. And so I just find it's amazing. And I'm surprised Elgato, from a gaming perspective, leaned into the space and did it. But I think it's the biggest and best business tool out there to create the closest we can to a human connection without being in the room, right? And particularly, I've done one-on-ones with employees and things like that through this, and being able to gauge their reaction always, because I'm looking into a camera behind a reflected screen. Now, Elgato just brought out the XL, which is 15-inch screen, right? 1080p, I'm trying to buy it as soon as I can get it, because the only drawback to the small screen, it is bloody small. And so it's fine with only 2 people on. But if you've got 50 people on, everyone's just a postage stamp. Do they still do postage stamps? I don't know. That it's that tiny.
They've probably got the king on them now, not the queen, though.
Yes. But so what I'm saying is that, because Elgato kind of nailed the gaming mouse. It's probably considered one of the best gaming mice in the world, or mouse in the world, and the keyboard. And I just thought, the natural peripheral extension to own is this kind of, and the crazy thing, if you had power tools on your desktop or operating system or other tools, the traditional teleprompters, none of them did the screen reflection without needing another piece of software. Where Elgato have it built in through the USB-C connection, that it's a reversed screen, which is just mint.
It is. I haven't actually played with one. They did offer me one a while back, and I kind of passed on it because I do a fair bit of filming, but I generally tend to kind of riff, just off the cuff rather than reading off of a script. But I was talking, Tom Arbuthnot's a good friend and fellow MVP, and he was talking about it the other day in the Excel. So yeah, it is. I do. I'll probably get in trouble, but I do. It's a cool thing, and yeah, I think it potentially is a gap. Luckily for me, it's not. So it's we have different portfolio parts of the business. So I'm just on Logitech for Business, not in our gaming or in our B2C side. So again, I guess it would be in there because we've got obviously our Blue Yeti products and Ultimate Ears and the gaming side of the house. So
I didn't realize Blue Yeti was Logi. I didn't realize Blue Yeti. Wow.
Yeah, Blue Yeti now is Logitech now. It was an acquisition, again, before my time. So
I think if you put the whole gaming stuff aside, as a business tool, any remote worker should have a prompter, and not for having teleprompter, just so you can eyeball a camera without always feeling like you're looking over at your screen to look at what the meeting agenda is today or whatever. You can be looking directly to the audience that you're engaged with. I very rarely do I ever put a actual use the prompt function with the software. It is just the Teams experience straight back at me and just creates that much more personal connection.
I'll put in a feature request specifically for you. It would be a pleasure.
You'd have to do something better than the Elgato for me to switch, though.
Yeah, all right. Okay, all right.
But I'm just saying, as anybody in the comm space, it's a massive peripheral white space. Like, don't even go after the gamer market. Just go after the business segment. Sell that story. That's the story.
It's an interesting one. So, okay. So here's, I'll throw some product stuff your way then. Hey, so what about? So I'm battling at the moment with webcams. So I'm trying to think to myself, because every laptop's got a webcam built in. But you've got your rucksack or your bag, your laptop bag that you carry from home to the office if you commute. So a mouse is kind of a given. You kind of like the trackpad on a laptop is terrible from a productivity standpoint. So you would take a mouse. So you chuck a mouse in your bag, you would have that space for your mouse, you'd have that weight for your mouse. Headset. You probably would have a headset because you don't want it coming out the speakers and the microphone of the laptop.
Correct. In a private space, yep.
Keyboard and webcam, I'm trying to work out, and I'd be interested into the audience, feedback if there's a comment, facility, if they want to comment below. I was, again, for me and for you, we do this stuff, and, I've got a podcast mic here. I've got actually a mirrorless camera here I use through a USB HDMI capture. So I've kind of got set up to kind of have a kind of bit more of a premium high-end setup. But again, when it comes to webcams, most people go, well, the one that's built is good enough. And you see these terrible cutouts in like Teams where you see they've gone for the virtual background and there's all the tears because the lighting's terrible. And so, Teams is brilliant at doing that. We used to use green screens for all this stuff, and Teams is great. You can't imagine the fact that you've got like a virtual green screen now in Teams, but it's garbage in, garbage out. You've used a terrible 720p camera with terrible lighting on your laptop, it's going to look junk. And then the other thing is, I had a call the other day with a guy, and he spent, people watching, obviously listening, sorry, you won't be able to see this, but the whole call was like this, because he's looking at his screen, but his camera laptop was here. And it's like, just put the camera where you're looking. But would you, Mark Smith, or any of the audience watching this, how much would you, what do I have to do to earn the space and weight in your bag for you to carry around a beautiful 4K Brio camera in your bag versus that terrible camera that's built into the top of the screen that is an afterthought by most of the laptop vendors?
I think it comes down to education. I have 3 Logitech Brios.
Thank you very much.
Right? And the reason is that the last big event before I've had them for over 5 years, because the last big event before COVID hit for me was in Florida. And I was in Florida, and the conference organizers, I'd work with them to get a area right in the middle of the expo hall. And I just had 2 chairs with a banner backdrop advertising the event, etc. And I had 3 Brios set up into my laptop
Nice.
Clip-on microphones, and Microsoft executive that would come along, boom, in the chair. Like you can see a 30-minute interview between me and Charles Lamanna, the head of, I think he's got almost 8,000 staff report to him in Microsoft in his org, and sit down, have an off-cuff conversation, and they're all done on those 4K Brios, all just on these tiny one-stick tripods. So it was kind of like nobody could see all the tech, but the tech was just amazing. I just had a friend, and we would just alternate in and out, and we would switch cameras. So I had one Brio did a wide shot, the two of us on the screen, and then the other two Brios were individual, right? So cut right in. And you would think we'd had a massive professional camera rig. All of that fitted, as you say, in my rucksack, just like that was 3 cameras, 2 LED spots, and I had a little mixing console desk and my laptop. That was it.
Beautiful.
And we live streamed the whole lot, and as well as recorded and got up later.
Rolling out Microsoft 365 Copilot licenses isn't enough. You need an adoption plan to get people using it well. In our new book, published by Microsoft, we offer a practical guide to successful Copilot adoption. Many leaders believe in the why of Copilot and AI, but they need guidance on how, from practical frameworks to enabling champions and measuring impact. Get your copy of Microsoft 365 Copilot Adoption now from Amazon, or find a link in the show notes.
Yeah, there's obviously some edge use cases like that, but I guess in the day-to-day, I guess you look at the kind of 80-10, 90-10, 90-10, 80-90-10 rule. 90% is going to be VC using Teams or other video conferencing applications. The 10% is going to be those use cases like I want to stream, I want to use like a town hall meeting, webinar, whatever it might be. So I get it for that. Again, I'm just trying to work out how do we earn that space in the bag? Because again, you wouldn't leave the house looking terrible without your hair done and your makeup or, a good suit and looking sharp, but you turn up to a Teams meeting looking terrible.
If you built into it some little LEDs. So if you like, I can remember my last call was MVP Summit last year, where I was on the road and laptop and I was in a dark hallway, and the bit that was letting me down was, it would be just a little bit of lighting. And you think you can get the camera, a few lights around the edge, power it through the single USB-C kind of connector, and tout it as your, it's almost like you want to be able to easily mount on anything. I think you got the mounting right. That I think it's, you rather than try to make a camera to be for the gamers as well, just sell it as a business camera anywhere, and you need, get that messaging right. I think that you would have a market. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, it's an interesting one because, of course, the other thing, mice and headsets are wireless, whereas a webcam's wired. So again, is there that friction of like, laptops don't have any ports?
USB-C though, right?
Yeah, it should be. Again, it should be really convenient. I'm just trying to work out, because I see so many people joining calls looking terrible from their laptop cameras, and it just pains me. It's like,
see, that's the marketing. Stop sucking the way you look, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what you want.
Knock 10 years off your life. Look like you're a tech expert. I think there's
Yeah, you wouldn't leave home looking terrible. So why would you turn up to a meeting looking terrible? But
definitely opportunity to be had there. I think definitely opportunity.
Second feature request from Mark coming into Logitech for another new webcam.
Yeah.
This is just your chance to just say what products you want, and we'll develop them for you.
Now, those Brio cameras, though, boy, you've got your money's worth, as in from a longevity perspective. As I just said, working out, that must have been over 5 years ago that I did that last gig. It would have been in 2019. I must have gone from the UK over to Florida. And, with 3 of them, with just little Elgato captures, I think I used on them into my laptop.
an OBS or Streamlabs or whatever on your laptop to just switch between the streams and stuff. Yeah, no, it's perfect. It's great.
Just a little switcher. I think I used Stream Deck at the time just to switch between. No, sorry, not Stream Deck. I used what's the free streaming software?
OBS.
OBS.
Yeah, OBS. Yeah,
just OBS. Yeah, it worked well.
Yeah, and of course we've got Windows Hello on them, so the ability from our MVP Microsoft side, that ability to have all that security capability, ease the login, it's great.
I think it's white space waiting for Logi to take on.
Loving it. Again, I'd love to hear from your viewers as to what we can do more around webcams, because I think, as I say, there.
Happy to field test anything you send my way.
Well, are you going to Ignite, by the way?
Nah, heck no. I'm staying out. Just between you and me, I'm staying out of the US.
Okay, all right.
I've been there once this year, and I'm just like I'm registered to go next year in March, and I'm just
for the MVP Summit.
Yeah, MVP Summit. But even last MVP Summit, I came across the border out from Canada in on a busload of MVPs that we'd done the Canadian Summit prior. And it's the weirdest feeling. I've been going to the US every year, if not multiple times a year, for 15 years. But apart from the COVID time, right? Never missing a beat. And it's just this, it feels weird now at the moment.
Friction.
Yeah.
That term again.
Exactly. And it should be friction free, right? Travel nowadays. I feel in the world.
Can I ask you a question? You asked me about Copilot. Let's turn the tables on you. What do you think when I say Copilot?
Well, I just wrote this book on it.
I didn't prompt him for that, by the way. You put it on your Christmas list on your Amazon. Have you got a book and a DVD coming out for Christmas, Mark?
Microsoft 365 Copilot Adoption: A Practical Guide for Business Leaders and Consultants. So my wife and I just wrote that. It took an easy half a year to write it. And it's just been published. So,
and where can people get hold of it?
Amazon and everywhere else. Every book retailer has it. So
you can pay me later.
Yeah, exactly.
Do I get a signed one?
If you want, as in can do it at the MVP Summit if you're there, and I'm there. Actually, we just had to sign, I think, five of them. So they're published in the US. They're printed in the US. So they got sent to the US to us. I had to sign, my wife and I co-authored it together, so we had to sign them and send them back because last week was a Power Platform conference in Vegas, and they wanted to do a video with a bunch of executives all holding a signed copy of it. But the crazy thing is, even to ship into the US now, to send the books back, and the value of them coming out, like a printed book, let's forget the IP piece, right? It's $3. $3 US. To send those 5 books to the US cost $300. Mind-blowing, right?
It's insanity, isn't it? Absolutely.
It's because, do you know, anything under $800 now going back into the US has a tariff on it.
Tariffs on paper now.
Some countries are refusing to post to the US. I think France just came out. They're not allowing any packages to go to the US, as in from citizens. Outside of commercial.
Just pack them in a suitcase and fly
there. The British Postal Service will be turning in their grave.
Absolutely. The Royal Mail. Yeah. Hey,
so just before we wrap up, because we've easily riffed through, just one little thing on your home setup tech. So have you configured all that yourself?
Yeah. So are
you using Home Assist?
Yeah, Home Assistant, yeah. So
running on a Raspberry Pi or what?
No, I'm on a x86. It's running on an i5 at the moment. So I'm running it on as a virtual machine in what's it called? It's not. I mean, it should be in Microsoft, obviously, but not. It's a free one. Can't remember what it's called.
No, something like that. You want it on something lean.
Yeah, so I've got Frigate on there, which is running an MVR for all the CCTV cameras, and then I've got FreeNAS, I think is the NAS. And then, it's running Home Assistant on there. And then that's got then the Zigbee Z-Wave for then most of the devices. And then there's a whole bunch of scripts that then connect into, I pull data off of all different types of sources. The best one, because I'm now going back into an office, I'm putting the pulling the local train times real time into the home assistant. So I've got like one dashboard on my phone. It tells me my battery levels. It tells me how many watts I'm putting in on the solar. It tells me when the next train is from the station. It's it's brilliant. You build your own dashboard and yeah, I love it. Really, really nice.
So has solar taken off in the UK?
Yeah, it's not. I mean, the UK and solar really is, the where we are in the hemisphere. I think I've got something like 1.2 kilowatts of solar, and on a good day, I'll get about 200 watts out of them. I mean, it's like it's summer because I think the challenge with solar is that you've got the ratings of the panels. If you're in Nevada, you're pointing them directly at the sun. With the wind behind you on a Tuesday in the middle of summer, you might get the output wattage that it tells you. But for the real world, when it's a little bit overcast and a little bit kind of gloomy, and they're laying flat down on a flat roof rather than angled at the sun, you're probably best at getting about 10% of their rated output. So yeah, I get of my 1.2 potential kilowatts. Certainly now in the winter, I think I saw about 250 watts max peak output today. So yeah, it's not in the UK it's a challenge. There was all these grants and you see people on their roofs and stuff like that. But again, any free power is free power at the end of the day. So I'll take it, if it tops up. Again, I think you need to go big. You need a big space. People do it on the roofs. If you've got like the right facing roof and stuff like that, you can get a decent amount. But I think the first thing to do is to reduce your output first, and then try and be as lean as you can with regards to what you're using, and then it makes the solar a lot easier. But UK is not Nevada, so it's not.
So true. And I've seen the ones in Nevada, and my gosh, it's like a blinding light. Though, these big arrays that they put in a desert with the just incredible. But it's just, I just find it interesting and fascinating. It's just, again, one of those technologies that I think is that and lithium batteries. I mean, again, I started off with like radio controlled stuff with like lithium polymer batteries back in the day, and now lithium iron phosphate is the new chemistry that everyone sort of loves because it's super safe. It doesn't blow up, and it's really got really great density of storage in it, and you can do some quite cool stuff. And the cost of it is just so cheap per kilowatt. These sort of battery walls you can get now, and the battery management systems are so affordable. It used to be really expensive, but now you can knock up a large amount of kilowatt. Again, check out Off Grid Garage. He's got goodness knows how many kilowatt hours in his garage that he's sort of knocked up. Again, it's all coming out of somewhere in China probably. So yeah. Neil, thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been awesome talking to you.
Thanks for having me, Mark.
Hey, thanks for listening. I'm your host, Business Application MVP Mark Smith, otherwise known as the NZ365 Guy. If you like the show and want to be a supporter, check out buymeacoffee.com/NZ365 Guy. Thanks again, and see you next time.